Welcome in, and we're going to talk about what you need to know entering Week 16 of the Fantasy Football Playoffs. Unfortunately, it starts off with me admitting that I was wrong. I have to correct something I said in the last video. Here's what I said. Deion Jackson, next man up if Jonathan Taylor is to miss time. Yeah, it was not Deion Jackson. I meant Zack Moss. I had my notes written backwards. I said the wrong name. I apologize. It's Zack Moss you want in this backfield, but now I have to elaborate exactly why it's Zack Moss and not Deion Jackson. Moss led the way in pretty much every type of usage. Third down snap rate, red zone snap rate, overall touches, attempts, and yards. He literally checked every box. And not to mention, Jonathan Taylor is likely going to be out the rest of the season. So with that said, Zack Moss is the guy to target off waivers this week as the top running back option in this backfield. Let's go ahead and move on to the Chiefs backfield. And really, we're just reiterating what we said last week. Jerick McKinnon is the guy you want for fantasy purposes. Pacheco will get early down rush work, but McKinnon is vaulted into a bigger role anytime there's a shootout. Surprisingly, the Chiefs had to pass a ton this game, and because of that, McKinnon ran away with not only the snap rate but overall usage. We saw him get utilized heavily as a receiver, out of the backfield, red zone, third down work. We know he has that role. Because McKinnon has a very valuable role on a very valuable offense, that's a role that you could start with confidence as an RB2 the rest of the way, no questions asked. And if you have a strong 1-2 punch, plug him into your flex and forget about it. He is a guy that you should be starting week in, week out, given his current role and situation in this offense. With the Broncos running backs, the next situation we're talking about here, Marlon Mack is a non-factor. Yeah, he scored a touchdown. Yeah, he put up decent fantasy points because of his passing game utilization, but his role is rather limited. Sure, he was able to capitalize on the touches he got, but they were far and few in between, all things considered, because Latavius Murray ran away with all the usage, third down, red zone, overall. It's Latavius Murray's backfield. Marlon Mack just picks up the scraps. If you're in a deeper league, I get it. He might actually be helpful and useful, but for majority of leagues, Marlon Mack is no more than a bench piece just to carry in case Latavius Murray gets hurt. So if you like this type of content, like and subscribe. It goes a long way. Let's jump over to the Atlanta Falcons. Coming off the bye week, rookie quarterback. I wanted to take a look at how this offense ran, and it was the Drake London show, and that was pretty much it. London had 42.3% of the team target share. Not to mention all the receptions, all the yards. He pretty much was the receiving core. And then this running game, Patterson did slightly outsnap Allgeier, and he did get more red zone utilization in terms of the snap rate, but Allgeier took advantage of his touches and did more with them. To be honest, I just wouldn't start either with much confidence. So for me, this backfield is one I'm trying to avoid if I can for fantasy purposes down the stretch here. The Texans running back situation is another one that just caught my attention, but for the wrong reasons. Nobody stood out at all in this backfield. Yeah, Ogunbowale and Royce Freeman kind of split the touches there. On the whole, Ogunbowale did get more snaps, but you saw Royce Freeman factor in the red zone, so he's getting high value touches. It's kind of another one of those situations similar to Atlanta, but actually worse, where I don't want anybody. I'm not trying to start any of these guys. These are guys that in a pinch, sure, Royce Freeman's probably a free agent that you can grab. But if we're talking about free agents here, give me Zack Moss over him, definitely. And that's where we're at. Like, this backfield is just one that you're targeting for opportunity in a desperate situation. Neither one of these guys are guys that you really want moving forward. And lastly, we're going to talk about two wide receivers you can grab off the waiver wire this week. First one's going to be Noah Brown from the Dallas Cowboys. Noah Brown over the last 3 weeks has had at least a 70% snap rate. More notable for Brown is that his usage actually went up each of the last 2 weeks. If teams start making a point to take Lamb out of the game plan, Noah Brown and Michael Gallup are going to have to step up. And we're already seeing Noah Brown step up. So I think Brown could be sneaky good the rest of the way. And the same could be said about Russell Gage. Julio Jones was out. Russell Gage stepped into a larger role again this week. Gage has now had 3 straight weeks where we've seen an increase in routes run, targets, and receptions. Although Russell Gage is the third option on this receiving core, he was actually able to lead the team in team target share this week. So all things considered, Russell Gage is another sneaky PPR type of play entering week 16 in the semifinals. If I had to choose between Gage and Brown, I'm taking Brown over Gage right now, and that's just because I believe Brown's role can be larger than Gage's role in their respective offenses. And that's all it is you're chasing opportunity with these two, and I think Brown has a little bit of a larger opportunity, a little less competition. If you like this type of content, check out part 1. It'll be linked in the description below. So I appreciate you checking it out. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and we'll talk soon.